All right, I'm going to try to simplify this for all the Trump tards out there. I realize you're at the point now where, it's the same pattern every time. He didn't do it. Then it's they're lying. Then it's, oh, they just don't like him because they're upset over the election. They won't get over the election. Like, it's the same talking points. And the sad part is the Republicans accidentally emailed their talking points to the Democrats. Like, that's how stupid and incompetent these people are. What happens is there's an RNC think tank in Washington. It's a group of guys. I met some of them. And all they do all day is handle incoming information like, what's going on with the impeachment, what's going on with Syria, what's going on with China, whatever, and put spins on things. And then they send out to all the Republican congressmen, senators, whatever, and they say, these are the talking points that you're going to talk about when you go on TV, when you're giving an interview, when you speak to your constituents, whatever. So everybody's on the same page. Now, that should annoy you that the truth is irrelevant. They're just going to tell you what they're told to tell you, but that's just the way it works. So it is what it is. But I'm not getting off on that. So now we're at the point where it's, we went to these procedures are a sham. And the dumb Trump tards actually were repeating that online. Oh, yeah, it's a sham. It's all done in secret. None of it was true. None of it was true. Just accept that. Accept the fact that Santa Claus isn't real and none of that was true. Okay? You have to accept it because there was Republicans in the room with him. It was all a lie. You know what I mean? Like there was Republicans in that group that raided the room that actually were supposed to be in the room and weren't in there. They just could have just walked in. Like, it's sad that you're so stupid. And then the left, don't get me wrong, I'm not a leftist. The left is just as dumb. They fell for so many same stupid tactics from the Hillarys and the Obamas and the Clintons. It's just the same thing. You're morons. Most of you people in this country are freaking morons. But anyway, this is the way. It was explained pretty well. I saw on a YouTube corporate media guy. I don't know who it was. Okay, this is what Trump did that was illegal. Now, in my opinion, he should have been impeached for 30 other things. 30 other things. This is the least of the things that he's done. But in my opinion, also so should every other president for the shit they do. But anyway, let's keep it simple. If the president is standing there and I run up and tackle him, right, because I'm mad at him and I want to hurt him, that's a crime. It's an action, criminal intent, mens rea, actus reus. If somebody was trying to throw a hammer at the president and I run up and tackle him so he doesn't get hit by the hammer, it's no longer a crime. I didn't have criminal intent. I was trying to protect the president. Even if the president got hurt from me tackling him, my intent was still to protect him. See how that works? I would be so annoyed if I was a Trump tard and they were trying to trick me with this simple little thing where they go, oh, that's how diplomacy works. We give them something, we ask them to do something for us. And that's absolutely true. And that's what they always do. They take a truth, and they wrap their lie in it. And you're so stupid that you take that talking point and you go running off with it and you start saying it at the local Piggly Wiggly to all your buddies and be like, look, see, these Democrats, oh my God. This ain't about Republican and Democrat. Let that go. It ain't about what Hillary Clinton did in Benghazi or what Bill Clinton did in 93. Nobody cares. The whataboutism has no value in a logical argument. So let's get back on point. So if I tackle the president and I'm trying to hurt him, it's a crime. If I'm tackling him, I'm trying to avoid the hammer hitting him in the head, it's not a crime. The act didn't change, but the mens res did. The criminal intent. When the president withholds military aid to the Ukraine, by itself is not a crime. Although there is some issues that there could have been crime made there because Congress had already okayed it. And they had lied as to the reason they were withholding it. See, that's the part nobody knows about. Or they don't talk about. Let me rephrase that. It was $250 million in aid. It was already approved through Congress. The president has no right to stop that aid unless there's like certain reasons. Like he has a reason because he has information Congress doesn't have and it's a matter of national security and a couple of things like that. That's not why they withheld the aid. They withheld the aid because they've been putting pressure on the Ukraine to investigate Joe Biden and they don't even care if it's a real investigation. I don't even know if Trump really thinks Joe Biden broke the law. He just wants it to go public that Joe Biden's being investigated by the Ukraine because then it looks good for him. That's a criminal act. That is abuse of power. That there's criminal intent. That is not what's in the best interest of the United States, especially since Russia is in an active war ongoing with the Ukraine. Ukraine is supposed to be our ally. Russia is not supposed to be our ally. So now let this all sink in. So what Trump did was he withheld the military aid. Then, I think it was September 9th, the whistleblower filed the complaint against the president about the aid being withheld and why. That he was pressuring Zelensky and the Ukrainian government to go public with this investigation so it would look bad. And that's, it's illegal to request foreign aid to interfere with our elections. So just stop talking, all you Trump-tards that don't understand and have these weird defenses. That's it. There's no debating that. You cannot go to the Prince of Saudi Arabia and say, hey, give me $5 million for my election fund. You're not allowed to do it. You cannot go, hey, Putin, can you spend money advertising on Facebook to make me look good and make Bernie Sanders look bad? No, that's illegal. And we don't want that. All you Trump-tards that get down that little slippery slope of, well, I'd rather be red than Democratic or whatever. I'd rather be Russian than Democratic. Whatever weird stuff that goes to your minds. It's not a debate if that's illegal or not. It is. It's illegal, period. It's not a debate that by him telling the Ukraine that to get this military aid, you have to do me this favor, which will help out my campaign, is or isn't a crime. It's a crime. He withheld the aid with the criminal intent to get help with his political campaign. This isn't rocket science. My God, this isn't Bill Nye explaining how osmosis works and it's over your head. He couldn't withhold the aid, not without a good reason, which he didn't have. The only reason he released it, obviously, 2 days after the whistleblower complaint was made, not made public, was made known in his little group, because it went to the Attorney General's office or whoever's job was to, say if it was credible or not. And of course, that immediately got back to the president. They had been withholding the aid for months. If you really want to lie to yourself and say it was a coincidence it got released a couple days after they found out about the whistleblower complaint, go ahead, lie to yourself. I don't care. You want to be stupid, be stupid. I can't make you not stupid. But there is no debate about whether or not what he did was illegal. There's no debate on whether or not he did was abuse of power. There is no debate. So stop saying it's procedure or it's some this. Or you got Republicans now that were flipping out about we want to make public. And they go, okay, well, now they're made public. We held the vote. It's going to be a public, the inquiry is going to be public. And guys like Lindsey Graham saying, well, I'm not even looking at it now. Like, are you serious? How do you keep electing these people? The Lindsey Grahams and the Mitch McConnells. Like, are you nuts? But anyway, what is wrong with you? Kentucky, Mississippi, South Carolina. They keep electing these people. And I was a big fan of Ron Paul. I'm not a big fan of Rand Paul. Because he's bought and paid for. He's bought and paid for. Whoever's writing his check is the argument he's going to make. These states have the poorest people in the country. They have the least amount of opportunity. They have the most problems with, I am getting into all of it. And yet they keep electing the same people. So I don't feel bad for you. I don't feel bad that your son dies because he didn't have his insulin. I don't feel bad that your kids struggled through life and are miserable because they didn't get a good education and they didn't do well. You keep electing the same people. Not my problem. That's your problem. Your stupidity. But back to the Trump thing. The Republicans and the Trump-tards, because they're not the same people, they have to, they don't have to, but they should just admit, I know what he did was wrong. I know what he did was wrong. I don't care. I don't care that he was doing it. I don't care that he was undermining our election process as long as my team wins. And if you admit that, I have nothing to say to you. Okay, I think you're wrong. I think it's treasonous what you're saying. It's unpatriotic. I think it's disgusting. But it's your opinion. You have a right to have it. If you think cozying up with a Russian leader is better than supporting and protecting your own country, okay, then you're actually in league with severe leftists who think national lines shouldn't exist and nationalism is a disease. So you guys are in cahoots on that. You both agree with that philosophy. Okay, you know what I mean? You don't believe in America first, just, and now listen, just because you say it doesn't mean anything. You can keep saying it. But if your actions are not America first, well, and a lot of things Trump does is I don't know about a lot, but some of his things are America first. And some of his things are Trump first. And the fact that the left keeps arguing that everything he does is Trump first, and the Trump-tards keep arguing that everything he does is America first, well, there's never any cohesion in the thoughts between the two parties, or the two groups, because they're at such ends of reality. They're both full of crap. They're both, out of touch with reality. But I just wanted to make this clear for all the Trump-tards. Oh, and just so you know, he ended up releasing like $395 million in aid. I don't know how that went about, but the aid actually jumped up when he released it. It was supposed to be $250. That was what Congress approved, and then he made it $390. I don't know how that works. You know what I mean? Like who he had to get approval from, or if he can just do that, raise the number, if he has like leeway. I don't know. But the fact is, he raised the number. And that was after he found out about the whistleblower. So, the identity of the whistleblower doesn't matter either. When we find out who it is, it's a big deal. Why? Who cares who the whistleblower is? I can be the whistleblower. That guy in the truck can be the whistleblower. Anybody. Who cares? Hillary Clinton could be the whistleblower. What does that matter? If everything the whistleblower said was true, who cares where the source came from? You can hate him because he's let's say he's a Democrat and he's an Obama plant. All that stuff is great. But if he found out the truth, what does it matter? That's like saying my wife is cheating on me, right? And my ex tells me about it, so I'm not going to believe it because it came from my ex. Now, you can doubt it and say, well, it came from my ex. She has a bias. She has a reason to lie. But then if 9 other people at the party, agree and say, yeah, she was making out with the dude in the corner, well, then it doesn't matter who the source was. It was true. It was verified. It was validated. Yeah, it sucks that it was your ex telling you. In this case, I don't know who the whistleblower is, but it sucks that it might have been a Democrat that came forward and said, hi, I got you. You know what I mean? I'm an Obama supporter, but you know what? I caught you breaking the law. Okay, but the fact is, he was telling the truth. So what does it matter who he is now? And this whole nonsense about it's got to be made public, then it's made public, and guys like Lindsey Graham are like, oh, now I'm not even going to pay attention to it. Well, you got what you wanted. I don't understand. Oh, that would mean that you were lying. That you didn't really care about the situation being public and not being secretive. You just made that up. That was just your talking point for the week. And then as soon as they made it public, you went on to something else. Like, it keeps happening. And we keep buying it. And we don't realize that poor guy in Kentucky is getting screwed just like the poor guy in New York. The white guy in a trailer in Arkansas who's all about that child molester, Morris, whatever the hell that guy's name was, didn't get elected, thank God, because of black women. That was the big demographic that got him knocked out. Thank God. Well, at least they get the credit. They were one of the people that voted against him. But thank God they vote for him anyways because he's a Republican, because they can't think for themselves. They're getting screwed just like that black guy in Chicago is, who's voting for the Democratic mayor or the Democratic governor because he thinks they're going to do him some good. They're all getting screwed. They're getting screwed by the system, but because this liberal in New York or this guy in California believe in the blue, and the guy in Texas and the guy in Arkansas believe in the red, they just want to fight for their team. So when they look at Trump, he represents their team. And then you got people on the left trying to get in the heads of people on the right. And there's just it's just bumping heads. It's because to us, we're like, I don't want to put us, I'm not a leftist, but to like someone like me where I'm just like, well, to me, both of you are morons. But to someone on the left, they're going, wait, how do you not see what he did? And because the right refuses, every week the talking points change and they just pick up the mantle and run with it and say, yep, yeah, it's a scam because it's all in secretive. Oh, wait, we made those rules? Oh, well, it's a scam because Republicans can't hear anything that's going on. Oh, there's Republicans in the room? Well, it's a scam because we don't tell us who the whistleblower is. Oh, it's against the law to tell us who the whistleblower is. It's the federal law to protect the whistleblower. And you don't want them to keep going after whistleblowers just like Obama did, because then when our government does something illegal, nobody's going to step forward. Trust me, I know from experience. They destroy your lives. But the people, I don't know, it's like they just they like hurting themselves just so they can feel a part of a team and they can feel like their team's winning and all that nonsense. And it's treasonous. It's unpatriotic. You're not a patriot if you, in my opinion, if you claim to be a Democrat or you claim to be a Republican. If you claim to be one of that two-party system that has torn this country apart for a very long generations, just a destructive nature of two parties fighting over who's going to be in power and who's going to make the rules to benefit their lobbyists and their benefactors. You're unpatriotic. That's not American. That's not what this country was supposed to be based on. A lot of the forefathers spoke about two-party systems and things like that and how that would be terrible. Like, this is not, you were lied to. And I know that's tough to admit and it's tough to see, and you know what I mean? But it's the truth. So now we got to step back. It's okay to say I register as a Republican, I register as a Democrat, or I like Republican values. All that stuff's fine. But when you say I'm a Republican and no matter what they do or say, I'm going to defend it and I'm going to vote for myself, you're not an American. You're something else. You're treasonous. That by definition is against your own country. And which in turn is against yourself and your own family and your children. Why would you do? I don't understand that, because I can think for myself. I don't understand how people like that can't get out of that shell. I don't know if it's the schooling. I don't know if it's the upbringing. I don't know. You know what I mean? But you got to make a change. If you think Trump did nothing wrong with the Ukrainian thing, you need to start reading other books. You need to start watching something besides Fox News. You need to, and like I said, I don't even know if what he did was impeachable. Like, I don't know if it's worth impeaching him, because he did things that were much worse. Like, so I don't know if they picked the right battle here or whatever. I don't know if I don't care if it's a political, just to draw attention. Our government's done much worse things in the last 3 years, the last 30 years. That every president has done things. But just because Obama did things wrong or Bush did things wrong doesn't mean it's okay for Trump to do things wrong. We have to draw the line somewhere. We have to stop this pattern. If you hated that Obama exposed whistleblowers, well, then you have to stop Trump from doing it too. If you hated that Obama benefited from his presidency, then you have to stop Trump from doing it too. And the next guy. Like, I don't know. Just end of the debate. What Trump did was wrong. Period. What he did was illegal. It was abuse of power. He did it. Now everybody's like switching the talking point to, well, even if he did it, it wasn't necessarily wrong. Like, stop. You were arguing for 2 months that he didn't do it. I'm not stupid like Trump tards. Let's forget everything they said for the last 2 months and run off with the new one. Think for yourself. Try to think for yourself. Make an effort. Talk to somebody who doesn't think like you. And see if you can come to a different conclusion. Or try to look at the facts unbiased, not just worry about who's saying them to you. They're coming from CNN. Because even CNN and MSNBC, as corrupt as those people are and how phony they are, don't get me wrong, they are fake news. They're constant. And then it's like, this is an example of it goes the other way. If you say fake news, the left is, oh my God, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. No matter how many times CNN is caught lying. No matter how many times MSNBC is caught making up videos, making up stories, telling lies, being biased towards one side. Like, it's so obvious. And it's like, wait, no, they made that story up. It was proven that was a complete lie. Oh, that's a conspiracy. No, it was admitted, but no, they just, you're no different than the left. Don't get in your high horse. Just like Trump tards don't see anything Trump does as bad. You know what I mean? One of the first things he did in office was he removed fiduciary responsibility from our financial managers in Wall Street. Like, now this was a favor. Obama passed an executive order. What Obama should have did was not been a piece of shit like he was and pushed it through Congress as a law or filed this executive order much longer before the end of his presidency. But he was so counting on their money to get elected. I don't hear about pragmatism. He had his chance to make a difference and he didn't do it. So Trump rolls back that executive order. And what that means is when your 401k is sitting with your financial manager or your retirement money or whatever, Obama made it so they had to take your interest at heart first. Their actions had to be in your best interest, not in theirs. And what do you mean by theirs? Well, what they do is especially in actively traded funds, they're moving your money around all the time. They're always like buying into new funds, buying this. They're not doing it because they're not switching from this stock to this stock because they think it'll make you more money. They're doing it because they can charge a fee every time there's a transaction. And then those fees eat away at your money. And then they get your retirement interest, not you. Well, you were allowed to do that. Think about that. That was legal. And Obama rolled and passed an executive order saying, no, you have to take fiduciary responsibility for the money you handle. And then Trump, one of the first things he did was roll that back and say, nope, you guys, it's free reign again. Do what you want with people's money. Take whatever you want out of it. You just keep running up the fees, so to speak, and it kills your retirement. You really think that was in the best interest of America? And this is what they said. They said the story, the talking point that they pushed was, oh, well, we are presenting, we're not allowed to present enough options to our customers. We're only allowed to present a small group of funds and ways to spend their money, and we weren't allowed to present all these other options, and the people should have a right to see all their options. Think. Why wouldn't they be allowed to show those other options if they were if they had fiduciary responsibility to represent their client's best interests? Because those other options were bad options. It's common sense. My God, it's literally written in the executive order. Like it's just, now he just made it so they can lie to you and do that. And they have the ability now to just move your money around all day long so they can run up their fees. That's not in your best interest. That's not America first. You just, but whatever, what do I know? It's just common sense. That's just one example to show you that, to the Trump tards, that he's not taking America first all the time. You have to take a step back and go, okay, he's not the second coming of Christ. Let that go. And that's also disgusting, these people that make comments like that. That you're not a Christian if you say things like that at all. Your church should kick you out. You should be excommunicated from the church. You are not a Christian person if you think that guy is the second coming of Christ. Are you serious? But whatever. I'm not even getting into that. That's a whole nother conversation. All right, I got to get to work. So yeah, he definitely committed a crime. He definitely did something wrong. You want to argue whether it's impeachable. You want to argue whether you think he should be impeached, even if he did do it. Totally fine to argue that. But you cannot argue that what he did wasn't wrong. You cannot argue that it wasn't a quid pro quo. Mulvaney, his speaker, he literally came out and said it was a quid pro quo. He said it. Deal with it. We do it all the time. Come on. And don't get confused. It's very simple. If he would have held back the military aid and said, I want Ukraine to fix their corruption before we give you more money, it wouldn't be right. It wouldn't be in America's best interest, but it wouldn't be illegal either. It's an argument to be made. Because we've always had that policy as a foreign policy to stop corruption in other countries. We don't worry about corruption in our country, but we worry about it in other countries. Even if he would have said, I'm going to hold back this aid because I need your help trying to find these DNC servers, because, he could argue and say, well, Russia supposedly interrupted or invaded our elections. So if they hold a server that could have the information we need, there an argument could be made. But that's not what he did. What he did is he held back the aid to get an investigation against Biden, and he made it clear he wanted that investigation to be publicly announced, and he held back a visit to the White House so that it would make Biden look bad, because he thought Biden might be one of his people he's going to go against. Biden still is the number one candidate, so come on, this is not, that's what happened. End of it. End the debate. Stop lying to yourself. It's just, God, it's so frustrating to sit back and watch these morons just make the same arguments. And then you watch these people making $20 million a year, sell their souls on TV, on Fox News, MSNBC, all of them, and just know that they're lying. They're lying. They know they're lying. And they just say it. They'll say whatever, like a Hannity. He'll just say whatever he needs to say to stay in the president's good graces, no matter how BS it is. Whoever's paying his bills, whatever talking point, he's just a talking puppet. You don't take his opinion seriously. Don't take his intelligence seriously, because he's sold. He's a criminal. He's just, Bush spying on you is necessary to keep you safe. Oh, Obama spying on you. Who wants the government in your looking at your personal business? Just look it up. It's not, you can't flip-flop two sides of an argument and be like, oh, it had nothing to do with one was a Republican, one was a Democrat, Anyway, I don't want to get off on Hannity. All right, I got to go. I'm going to work. Have a good day, guys.